For latest astrology videos, subscribe Astrodify channel and press this bell icon to get notified when a new video goes live.
Hello everybody, welcome to Astrodify. This is our third part in Panchanga series where we are going to talk about Karana. Previously, we have discussed about two aspects of Panchang, that is what is the Vara and what is the Tithi. If you do not know what Panchang is and what Vara and Tithi are and what they represent, you can see the videos, the link is shown in the card section, where we have discussed that what Panchang really means. And today we are going to talk about the third part of the Panchanga. Panchanga means 5 limbs of time, of which there are Varesh, the Tithi, the Karan, Nakshatra and the Yoga. So we are going to talk about the third limb of time today, that is Karan. And what does it represent, how it is calculated, and what types of Karan there are, who are the rulers of each Karan, that we are going to see in detail today. So let's start this video. If you want to book a consultation for yourself, you can go on this website. The link is given in the description. So we are going to discuss about Karan today, which is the part of Panchanga. I have already made several videos in the basic series so far. If you have not watched them, you can watch them in the playlist of the channel. The link is shown in the cards. And one thing which I have came across over a period of time in my study for astrology is that people do not consider very much the Panchanga itself. They do not give it the importance which it has. And what I have found so far is that Panchanga holds utmost importance while analyzing any horoscope. If you are ignoring the element of Panchanga, you are ignoring the majority aspects of the analysis, and I am quite certain that if you ignore Panchanga, you are not going to able to understand the reasons behind the things, what is happening in the person's life, and also the predictions will never be accurate. They will be mostly wrong. So that is why I always emphasize in the previous video also, I have repeatedly said that Panchanga holds the most importance in Jyotish, and it is considered as one of the fundamental aspects of the astrology. Even if you do not understand the deep conceptual complicated analysis of the divisional charts and various combinations and all that, just if you have a knowledge of the Panchanga and how it is analyzed, you will be able to give good, brilliant predictions without any kind of unnecessary, complicated, challenging analysis. So this much importance Panchanga has, and of which we are going to talk about the Karana today. Now Karana is, in the past video I have talked about what Tithi is. Now Tithi is the lunar day in which the person is born. Okay, so Karana is the half of the Tithi. If you do not know what Tithi is, you can see the video of that. But Karana is half of the Tithi, which is 6 degrees. Each Tithi is 12 degrees long. So there are 2 Karans in one Tithi. The moon goes around the earth, and there are 30 days. So there are 30 Tithis in a month. And since each Karan, there are 2 Karans in each Tithi, so there will be 60 Karans in a month. There are, if we categorize the Karan, there are 11 types of Karan in Jyotish. They are categorized in 11 types. Now, of which 4 Karans are fixed and 7 Karans are movable. Now, there is a table for them. You can see here, this is the table. These are the 11 types of Karan. First is the Kimstughna, then which is the fixed Karan. And who are the fixed Karan? 4 Karans are fixed. So first Karan is Kimstughna, then 58, 59 and 60. Those Karans are fixed, that is Shakuni, Chatushpad and Nagava. Remaining are movable. So here what happens is that the month, any month, when it starts with Shukla Pratipada. Shukla Pratipada. So Shukla Pratipada means the first day of the month when the moon has started waxing. That is the first day when the month starts. Then 15 day passes when moon completes its waxing cycle and achieves Purnima, means it achieves full moon day. Then again the cycle repeats in a reverse order, where moon starts to go waning in process, and it ends after 15 days in new moon day. So this is the whole lunar cycle in a month. Now, since each tithi has two karan, so first karan of the first tithi will be Kimstugna. Always the month will start with the Kimstugna karan. So it starts with Kimstugna and it falls in Shukla Pratipada tithi. So first karan is known as Kimstugna, which is ruled by Ketu, and it is known as fixed karan. Then after that the cycle repeats in with the movable karans. So the cycle will be of Bava, Balav, Kaulav, Taitil, Gara and Vanij and Vishti. These are the 7 karans which control which are movable in nature, means they repeat in a cyclical process, cyclical manner. So and it will go on, keep on going on, means this cycle will continuously repeat until Krishna Chaturdashi. Krishna Chaturdashi means till the second last day of the month. Till second last day of the month. Krishna Chaturdashi. Now when the Krishna Chaturdashi arrives, this tithi arrives, then the second part means the second karan, not the first karan. Each tithi has 2 karans. So the second karan, from the second karan, this fixed karan starts. So the 58th karan will be Shakuni, that is the fixed one. Then next day will be after Krishna Chaturdashi, the last day of the month will be the new moon day, Amavasya. So it has both the fixed karans. So Amavasya, that is why it is not considered an auspicious day, because both the karans are ruled by Rahu and Ketu. One is Chatushpad and one is Nagava. And both are fixed and both are malefic in nature. And there is no moon available in the sky on that day. So that is why it is not considered a good and auspicious tithi. But this is how the cyclical process goes on of the karan in a month along with the tithi. This I have explained. So each karan has a ruler. Now the fixed karan are ruled by Rahu and Ketu, which are written here. Kimstugna and Nagava, first and last karan are ruled by Ketu, and Shakuni and Chatushpad are also fixed karan, which are ruled by Rahu. Rest remaining karans are ruled by other individual planets like Bava, and they are cyclical, movable in nature. So they repeat continuously. So Bava is ruled by Sun, then Moon, then Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, as you can see in the table here. So these are the lordships of the karans and how they are, how they move in a month, that I have told you. Now we will talk about what karan represent. What does it symbolize? Now karan shows the karan lord shows your natural skill and talents. So it represents the natural skill and talents of the person. It can be good or bad. But the point here is that what are you good at? That is your natural skill and talent, which you have got by birth. And it depends on the placement also where karan lord is placed. But see here, many people say that karan controls the career. No doubt it has an important contribution in the career of the person, but it is not necessarily the case that it will always show the career of the person. There are many more important planets which control the career of the person apart from the karan lord. But see that karan shows your skills and talents, and it is not necessarily the case that the things which you are good at, you can have a source of income or a proper career or a profession of that also. For example, let's suppose the person is very good in music, but it is not necessarily the case that he can become a brilliant musician or a singer or a music director or a composer. So it depends that, or let's suppose a person is very good at sports, but not everybody becomes a sports person. So career means the avenue, the area through which you will gain your source of income, through which you will have a money inflow in your life. That is what career means. And natural skill and talents can be participating in that or cannot be participating in that. That depends on the placement of the yogas in the chart. So karan plays an important role in deciding the skills and talents of the person, but not necessarily the career always. This is an important point which you should understand. Next thing here is that it still contributes majorly in the career, wealth and material success overall or the downfall. If the karan lord is well placed, then no matter what the career is, whether it is in the field of the things which you liked or which you had the skills for, or it is in the field which you did not like or did not have proper skills for. That is not the case. The thing here is that in general, the professional stability, the career success, the wealth, the material success or the downfall depends on the Karana Lord. If the Karana Lord is well placed, in general we can say that yes, the career, the wealth and the material aspect of the person will be generally good. They can have success in those areas. But if Karana Lord is badly placed, making malefic combinations and doshas, then it will be certain that no matter, even if the person achieves some temporary success, ultimately they will face some kind of difficulties and downfall in their professional material life. So here you have to understand that Karan is considered as a natural significator for judging the overall stability of the career and profession and the wealth and the material progress, but it also controls the natural skill sets of the person. Apart from that, Karan, natural significator of the Karan, which we call as Karak, is Mercury. Now, Mercury is the natural significator of the Karan, and the nature or the element or the tattva of the Karan is Prithvi. So, Prithvi means the earth element. And what is earth? Earth means the world around you, the material world around you. That is why it controls the things related to material world. It controls your wealth, your money, your career, your profession, your status, your name. However, there are other planets also, but Karan is one of those fundamental elements of Panchanga. Panchanga means the 5 limbs of time, which governs this major aspect of our lives. So, for example, a person is born in Balava Karana. Balava means the lord of Balava is moon. So if you are born in Balava Karana, you have to see the placement of the moon in your chart. If your moon is connected with the 10th house or the 10th lord and you were born in Balava Karana, it means that the natural skill sets or the talents which the person has, the areas which he likes, he will have a career and a source of income through them. Means career can be related to them. But if let's suppose moon is badly placed and you were born in a Balava Karana, and it's not connected with the 10th house or the 10th lord, then it can show that you might be doing something altogether different and your skill sets and talents are different. And if it is very badly placed, then it can show that you can face career instability, job problems, workplace problems, wealth problems, financial struggles, any kind of material downfall that can be seen from the placement of the Karan itself. So this is how you have to see it in your charts. Okay. I hope that you would have understood by now that what Karan is, how it is calculated, what types and lordships of planets Karan has, and what does it represent in our lives. And now you have to see it. Okay. So in the next video, we will talk about the nakshatra and the yoga, what nakshatra is and what yoga means. What do they control in our lives, that we will see in the next video. So if you are new to my channel, subscribe below for more. Check on my website and Facebook page and Instagram. Otherwise, we will meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye and thank you.